Hi, everyone. I'd like to welcome you today to our live broadcast being done here at the International Association of Pet Cemeteries and Crematories, uh, 53rd annual conference here in the wonderful city of Boston. So we're really excited to be here. We have a lot of exhibitors and wonderful conference attendees, all involved in pet aftercare, and we're very excited to be doing our podcast here. Today, I'd like to introduce our panel for this live panel discussion regarding pet aftercare and the industry as well. We have with us Austin Shugart, Dr. Austin Shugart, PhD. For more than 15 years, Dr. Shugart has worked alongside his family business, Deceased Pet Care Funeral Homes in Atlanta, also Pet Angel Memorial Center. Has experience in the death care industry, provides valuable insight into what pet aftercare professionals experience every day. As a practicing counselor in Atlanta, Austin understands the needs of grieving pet parents and the important role that pet aftercare professionals play in their lives. Austin graduated with a doctorate from Mercer University and is a licensed professional counselor in Atlanta. He is uniquely qualified to lead and teach critical skills necessary to be successful as a pet aftercare professional. I'd also like to introduce Erika Sinner, founder of Directory, an Inc. 5000 pharmaceutical marketing agency. When Erika founded her own company, she vowed to prioritize an empathy-driven culture. The importance of the commitment hit even harder when she lost her own beloved dog, Kingston. The personal loss made her realize the need for empathy extended beyond her company. It needed to be a part of a broader conversation. This epiphany drove her to write her own book and advocate for more publicly for empathetic workplace cultures. Today, as the CEO of two companies, Erika remains dedicated to leading with empathy. Her second venture, Tiny Superheroes, is poised to transform not only children's hospitals, a culture, but also how empathy is integrated into everyday life. I also like to introduce Erika Messer, who is a certified pet bereavement specialist and coach and is known for compassionate leadership and pet loss support. Her grieving affirmation cards won a Best New Product Award at the 2022 Super Zoo trade show. As a founder of Wolfie's Wish, Erika created her company after losing her beloved cat, Wolfgang, and was struggling to find adequate resources. She's dedicated to offering unique products and programs that support grieving pet parents, as well as tools for businesses to aid in their customers and staff. So with that introduction of our wonderful panelists here, so excited to have, we're going to talk a little bit about understanding and validating pet grief within this panel. So I'd like to start with Erika. What have you learned from your personal journey through grief that you believe can help pet aftercare professionals better connect with and support grieving pet parents?
Thank you so much, Donna. Thank you for having me. I am honored to be here with all of you and just so in awe of the work that you all do here. For me, my story started last year when I lost my Kingston in May. I, as a CEO and as an employer, have always had pet bereavement policies within my organization. What I didn't appreciate is actually taking the leave and the stigma associated with how you feel talking about it. I felt a lot of shame. I also felt like maybe my team wouldn't understand, or they were thinking I wasn't showing up as a CEO in the right way, or it's just a dog. What's wrong with you? But for me, that leave was critically important. I wouldn't have been okay without it. And so now I feel a responsibility to inspire other companies to incorporate compassionate policies like pet bereavement leave. It's why I wrote my book. I think the only way we can normalize something is to talk about it. And I'm seeing momentum grow in the industry, in society, and I think it's really recognizing the family structure includes our pets and our animals.
Yeah, I totally agree. Dr. Shugart, how can pet aftercare professionals best support grieving pet parents and validating their feelings of loss, especially when society may not fully and completely understand?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I think there still is a stigma, especially around pet loss grief. And I think where pet aftercare professionals can come into play with this is being able to provide two things. I think is empathy and a listening ear. A lot of times, pet owners who are going through the loss of their pet, they wanna feel heard, right? They wanna be able to share their story, tell others how they're feeling because they're just overwhelmed with emotions, and they have to get that out somehow. They have to express it. So pet aftercare professionals, being a space where owners feel like they can share their story and share how they're feeling, and when it's met with an empathetic response, that then creates a positive experience for the pet owner who then will gain more trust with a pet aftercare professional, and that bond will be continued for years. As they maybe have future pets, and then trust that aftercare professional to take care of their pets. When they do pass. So I think those are the two biggest things: is a listening ear and providing empathy for pet owners who are going through an extremely difficult time during their life when they lose a pet.
I completely agree. Erica, what unique resources or strategies does Wolfie's Wish offer to pet parents navigating the grief process? Is there, and how can pet aftercare professionals effectively incorporate that into their services?
Well, Wolfie's Wish is designed to, you know, find solutions that may not be available. And so I'd like to have conversations with how do pet aftercare professionals, want to support their customers. Is it something that I already have, such as, grieving affirmation cards or a children's book or a guided journal or an online course? And I just keep adding and listening to how we can best support people and in ways that are meaningful to a business, but also, they have the conversations with their customers and their families to find out what what kind of support do you want and how can we show up for you. And what I love is seeing how this helps not only the pet aftercare professionals with their day-to-day, they actually have something to offer and don't have so much burden to carry the grief and experience burnout. So it's really an opportunity to just continue Wolfie's Wish, and I hope to have many more conversations this weekend about how we can even grow together more.
Agreed. From a psychological perspective, Dr. Shugart, what are some key factors that influence a pet parent's readiness to even welcome a new pet after a loss? How can pet aftercare professionals facilitate that transition? How can they be supportive in that way?
That's a another great question. So a lot of times it really depends. Each pet parent, it differs. Some people get a pet right away because maybe it's a source of comfort, a source of connection, and can even help the grieving process, further move along. I think some pet owners take months, sometimes even years, because the thought of having another pet in their home, it just feels like too much to take on, and they're still going through that grieving process. But I think the two biggest factors would probably be time. It is a huge factor of how long it maybe takes someone to get another pet, and also how they navigate their grief experience. So that's where the pet aftercare professionals can come in. If they give them that positive experience, that can be a contributing factor of helping them go through that grief process, so that eventually they do have or get another pet, and are able to kind of fully go through that grieving process. But I think that's where pet aftercare professionals show up, is giving them that positive experience even in the midst of the most terrible time in their life.
Yeah. Yeah, really good. I actually have a couple of statistics here I think are really valuable to that. As of 2024, 66% of U.S. households, which is 86.9 million homes, own a pet. And that's up from 56% in 1988. So you can see how this has drastically changed within our own lives and culture today. The pet ownership statistics show from companionship to emotional support, pets are a vital part of our owners' lives. And in fact, 97% of pet owners consider their pets as part of their family. And they do, they consider them, family members. So, Erica, how can tools and resources like these offered by Wolfie's Wish be used to gently guide pet parents through their grief, helping them to heal and eventually be ready to open their hearts to another pet?
Yeah, that's so important because we have to heal ourselves before we can even think about opening our hearts again to having another pet. And I think most people want that and they're not sure that they can. And I speak to so many people who say, "Oh, I can never get another pet. I can't go through that again." But as we evolve collectively to show up and validate pet loss support, validate pet loss grief, and have a conversation, more people are going to feel like, oh, you get me. Okay, it's okay to feel bad. So I can work through my grief, whether it's with one-on-one counseling, with a support group, and that's a very individual process. And there's no one size fits all answer to that. But that's why I love having conversations to continue to grow the products and services that I have so that people will open their hearts again. And there really is no timeline on grief and when we can do that. For me personally, it was 3 months. For some people, it's 3 years or more, and that's okay. I want everyone to know there's no right or wrong way to grieve, and how long it takes is how long it takes. But the more that we in the pet aftercare industry, the veterinary industry, and even the pet food companies can acknowledge this loss as a real loss, the closer we are to healing and then, of course, opening our hearts again.
Right. Yeah, such a great point, and really, so a great question for you, Erica. As an advocate for an empathy grit-driven culture, how can pet aftercare businesses balance compassionate care with strategic goal of fostering long-term customer relationships, encouraging pet parents to return when they're ready to adopt a new pet?
Yeah, I think we're building a lot of momentum in normalizing this conversation. When I launched my book and started doing my media tour, I remember hearing from TV reporters, I can't believe we're talking about dead dogs on national TV. Um, and for me, it's not, we're talking about dead dogs. We're actually talking about a member of your family passing, and how can we appreciate that relationship? And that's more inspiring, where your audience is going to connect with you on understanding this is important. And so as we continue to do that, and others see us talking about it, and even in my conversations with other CEOs at other companies, the CDC reports it's $200 billion are lost every single year in unproductive employees coming to work because of their grief. So from a bottom line perspective, you can have the emotional benefit of being there for your employee, but also you have the benefits of the economic benefit that your employee is ready to come back to work. They are ready to have more meaningful, they're representing your brand when they're coming back to work. And so, as Erica was just talking about, when you have tools like your grieving cards, or when you're able to memorialize and honor the life of your pet, and you as an employer are recognizing that your employees' family structure includes their animals, I think you're showing up for them in a different way, and that is more powerful than the work happy hours, than the pizzas that you're bringing in on Friday. And so I do see a world where companies, corporations are going to start reaching out to individuals like yourselves, companies like you, to say maybe we could show up for our employees and pay for the cremation or aquamation services. Maybe we could pay for one of the honoring paw prints or nose prints or something for my employee. And now you've shown up for them. And to what you said, in one of the most difficult times of their entire life, and have a true meaningful impact and relationship with that employee, because you've honored that what happens to them outside of work is, of course, going to impact the way they show up at work. And we have to do that. I think that's part of empathy driven cultures. We are not robots, we are human beings. And it hurts when you lose your animals.
Yes, completely agree. Thank you all for being here today. It's just helping us to acknowledge how deeply it hurts to lose our furry family members, really appreciate the fact that your work for supporting pet parents, veterinarians, and aftercare professionals is so very important. It's invaluable. To summarize, we've covered some key insights from our discussion, and we're grateful for the shared commitment of the important causes. I think it's important to note that as pet aftercare professionals within this room, whether you're, someone that helps grieving pet parents, you're offering a product to grieving pet parents, or you are really empathy driven in a culture that you're trying to develop across all forms of businesses for employees and staff is so important to recognize the fact that we all care deeply for our pets and for each other and those that have lost pets. So I wanted to just thank you all for being here. Your knowledge and expertise is very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.